go, chat. Maybe. We got the riser bar here, if you don't see it.
Week 2 of the National Women's Soccer League brings us to the West Coast and San Diego.
Nice.
Fast approaching the 10,000-minute mark, midfield general Savannah McCaskill will set the emotional tone as the San Diego Wave get set to kick off their home opener with Kaylin Sheridan one clean sheet away from tying Casey Murphy for 5th most league shutouts. For the Utah Royals, Mina Tanaka will be in the hunt for her first goal of the campaign, a month removed from MVP and Golden Boot honors in the She Believes Cup. Manny McGlynn starts in between the pipes after becoming only the 3rd goalkeeper to tally an assist in regular season play. San Diego and Utah next.
Boy, this thing is just being rude today. Shouldn't be buffering like it is, but it is.
From Snapdragon Stadium in San Diego, California, NWSL Plus is proud to present tonight's clash between the San Diego Wave and the Utah Royals. Hello and welcome alongside former U.S. international Casey White. I'm Eric Krakauer. It's week 2 in the NWSL, and that means it's an opportunity to correct or to confirm some of the first impressions that we've had so far. But when it comes to the Wave and the Royals, drawing conclusions, very difficult.
It can be. Neither one of these teams were able to get the shutout, but there were some really good defensive efforts. But what's really impressive about both groups is they love to possess. They want to control tempo, and you have to wonder which one of their styles is going to win out tonight.
Both teams drawing in their openers and both teams looking to sharpen the attack.
They really want to get more final third entries, both of these teams. And for San Diego Wave, it can come through Delphine Cascarino. She is a player that has that goal-scoring touch. She's an entertaining brand of football that she plays, loves to get service off. But what I really like about her is she loves to get facing forward and make forward runs into the penalty area. She's incredibly dangerous, and San Diego is going to depend on her if they're going to get into the box more often. For Utah, on the flip side, Ali Sitnor is the go-to player. She loves to go in the 1v1. She draws so much attention to herself. She can finish with her left. She can finish with her right. And all teams have to put 2 and 3 players around her to make sure she doesn't get opportunities. Otherwise, it's going to be a long night. But what I really like about her is she's industrious. She doesn't wait for opportunities to come to her. She defends and she generates those opportunities for herself, and she's so important to the way that the Utah Royals will look to attack this evening.
2 teams rich in firepower, 2 teams looking for their first wins of the season. Kickoff is next.
Computer's not uploading fast enough to
This.
YouTube, apparently.
Watch
Which is
us
weird.
move. Watch us fly.
Worked just an hour ago.
Watch us break. Watch us burn. Watch us rise. Watch us rule. Just
Every 2 minutes,
watch.
something's grabbing at it. She knows. No, she knows.
I love flying Hawaiian, and now that they've joined Alaska, my miles can take me further when I fly either airline, to so many places. Packing is gonna be fun.
We live for the NWSL on ESPN. Facts for the trend spins and the silk shrugs. For Double B, the MVP, and the GOAT. For fandom so fierce you can feel it. Because this is more than a league. It's a lifestyle. And we are here for it. All of it. All the time. If you are too, you know where to find us. Gotham FC. Pride. Sunday, 5 p.m. on ESPN2.
I really
Watch
don't want to
this.
restart again.
Watch us move. Watch us fly. Watch us break. Watch us burn. Watch us rise. Watch us rule. Just you watch.
Snapdragon tonight, stage, Wave and Royals, the protagonists. Kaylin Sheridan, one clean sheet away from climbing to 5th all-time in the NWSL. A look at the lineup for San Diego, which features just one change, with Adriana Leon cracking the 11.
And Leon will be very important coming into that central role. They're up top. They'll come out in the 4-3-3, and that is the only change. But what's really important about this group is Kenza Dali and Savannah McCaskill working in the double pivot. Maria Sanchez in the 2025 version has slid inside, playing more centrally in that 10 role. And watch for Cascarino and Corley on the flanks to try to create and get in line, get service across for their central forward.
We caught up with Kaylin Sheridan and asked her what Jonas Eidevall has brought to the club.
Seems like it's working now.
Yeah, I think he's brought a discipline
Oh,
and
then I
a
talked.
creativeness. Wants to make sure that all the players come with that creative ability that they're brought in with, but
Every
also
2
put
minutes.
it together in a structure and make sure that we're working together as a team and not just individuals on the field.
And not just in addition to the staff, but new additions on the field, an entire new season. Can you tell us what you're looking forward to most about showcasing throughout the 2025 season?
Yeah, I think, like I said earlier, we have some really creative players, and I'm really looking forward to them being able to shine. Ultimately, I just want to be there in case they need my help and let them do all of the great work up the field. But ultimately, as a team, it's going to be so creative, so passionate to watch, and we just want to move the ball well. We want to keep the ball. We want to score lots of goals.
And can you talk about being back home in your home stadium? How excited are you for that, to be back in front of your fans?
Yeah, I don't have words to describe the excitement. Being here and playing in front of our fans is always the best feeling in the world, and the day has finally come, so I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm really looking forward to our new teammates experiencing what San Diego brings.
Manny McGlynn tallied an assist against Bay FC last week, one of only 4 goalkeepers to achieve the feat in the NWSL in all competitions. 2 alterations to Utah's lineup as Yanni Thompson and Aisha Solorzano get the nod.
And they'll come out in a 4-3-3, a little different from last week with Mina Tanaka coming into the midfield. She started last week in that central forward role. So Solorzano will now slide up there, and she'll be flanked by Bianca St. George on the left, Ali Sentnor off the right. Both players that can play in the pockets, but also look to push in behind the back line and really look to penetrate and create opportunities forward.
2 teams that like to possess the ball. Both coaches telling us this week that that is their aim. Keep possession and threaten with it. Good look at Mina Tanaka, MVP in the 2025 She Believes Cup. And that is Kenza Dali, arrived from Aston Villa in January, signed a 2-year contract. Can play pretty much anywhere in midfield, despite that number 10 on the back of her jersey and on her shorts. Savannah McCaskill, the midfield general for the Wave, covers a lot of ground, very much the heartbeat of this team. And the ball is kicked into play. The San Diego
Here we
Wave
go.
and the Utah Royals going toe-to-toe at Snapdragon Stadium. Alongside former U.S. international Casey White, I'm Eric Krakauer. Week 2, often an opportunity to either confirm or correct first impressions. Though San Diego and Utah amongst those teams whose season opening performances perhaps didn't allow us to draw too many conclusions, both playing to stalemates in their season openers, Casey.
Yeah, and they both showed some really positive qualities for being so early on in the season. Utah really settled into the game as it went on. San Diego started extremely fast, but there's just not a lot of separation in the league, and wins are hard to come by.
Here's Ali Sentnor on the ball. Her pass picked off by Delphine Cascarino. And plays it all the way back to Kaylin Sheridan. And an immediate press from the visitors. Clean sheet away from 5th all-time in the NWSL. Ball play to Mandy McGlynn. And now Fuderer looking for options. Now wide to Thompson. Came off the bench against Bay FC. That was her debut. She'd only trained a couple of times with the team. Had arrived in country just 4 days previous to that.
It shouldn't be buffering.
I think we're already seeing here just the display of comfortability on the ball from both of these teams, especially in the midfield third. This is teams that are very comfortable in possession.
Cascarino. The switch was from McCaskill. There's an opening here for Cascarino. Plays it to Moroni, who has options in the box. Cascarino, all poked away. McCaskill out wide, just a little bit too much pepper on the pass.
And I think that's something that San Diego can really do is bring that possession comfortability to the final third. They didn't look rushed there. It was a little bit mistimed in the pace of the ball too much on that, but they look comfortable playing in combination, which can make them really dangerous higher up.
Tejada. And that's a giveaway from McLean.
Wow.
And there's a chip attempt. Cascarino, her eyes got big. Can't blame her for the attempt, though.
I don't blame her at all. This is great from her looking right away. McGlynn gives it away, and immediately it's a great first touch from Cascarino to set herself up. Just not able to dip that in. But we saw a turnover from Sheridan early off the pressing, but it went out of bounds. That one could have been very dangerous for the Utah Royals.
Mandy McGlynn was under pressure from Bay FC in the first half of their opening match, their home opener. She corrected her mistakes in the second half.
But one of the things Coach Jimmy Coonrops talked about was high risk, high reward. He wants her to feel comfortable playing out, and I think she's got to continue to try and make those decisions and technically execute, which she continues to get better at.
Lundqvist found a seam. And that will be the first corner of the game, benefiting San Diego. They scored 5 minutes into their opener. Against Angel City, that was. 1-1 had ended.
Uh-oh.
A few words from the referee. Meanwhile, some planning there between Kenza Dali and Maria Sanchez, who delivers.
It's not a blue shirt
collects. There. Half-hearted attempt. It may have taken a deflection. It did. A second consecutive corner for the home side. Alfava getting in the way. And the captain's armband. And this time, it's Dali over the ball. Dali, the delivery.
Punch out.
Away.
Nice.
Back into the mixer. Headed away. Cascarino trying to win it back. And does so effectively.
No, shoot it. Oh, whistle.
No, illegally, according to the referee.
What I like from San Diego, though, on both of those corner kicks, they're so organized, and they're not able to get out Utah Royals, and it helps them get more opportunities going forward. I don't know if that was necessarily a hard foul there, but you can see the relentlessness of San Diego when they lose possession.
Look at Jimmy Kunratz, who was happy with how his side controlled possession against Bay FC. Slightly disappointed that it didn't translate into enough threatening moments. The Royals took 13 shots, 11 of which were dispatched from outside the 18. Well, that ball all the way through. Had to be alert to the danger, Kaylin Sheridan.
Well, that looked eerily similar to how they scored last week with that direct ball over the top, and that's what St. George can bring you. And Solorzano as well coming into the game, that more vertical run and threat.
Almost a carbon copy. Cascarino threading the needle with the pass. Kennedy Wesley. Here's Dali.
You're welcome, Red. Sorry, it's buffering.
It's
just not being the connection's not good to wherever I'm connecting to YouTube.
Corley keeps it in play. Gets past Rabano.
Chip
Corley
it.
Across the
There it is.
6, and it's poked in at the back post. It's Maria Sanchez. Tenacious from Gia Corley, who scored on our debut, and this time sets the table.
And this is incredible from Corley on the inline. An unfortunate bounce for Rabano, but I love this ball across. It's flat. It gets a little bit of a deflection there, but credit Maria Sanchez for going in on goal. Just getting anything on it she can, leaves her feet. This is a great opening goal, and the fans are absolutely loving this at Snapdragon.
Another quick goal from the San Diego Wave. Inside 8 minutes.
Been that long already.
They were at their most prolific last season in the first 15 minutes of the first half, and in the final 15 minutes of this second. The trend continues.
I'm checking.
VAR checking to see if the ball crossed the end line when Gia Corley was pressing the issue.
Well, if this goal does count, if it comes back and it does count, what I love about Maria Sanchez does, if she doesn't leave her feet on that finish, more than likely the defender had body positioning to be able to clear it out of danger. But I love that, just that nose for goal, the mentality to go.
The goal counts. Check complete as we had a look there at Jonas Eidval making his home debut. So the Royals behind the 8-ball early. The team that struggled mightily last season when they conceded first. They conceded first on 15 occasions, and they lost all 15 matches.
When you're away from home, that's the last thing you want to do is concede early. It's already a tough environment to come into. But on the flip side, for San Diego, they did get that early goal last week, but now what do they do? Can they double it? Can they keep going forward and trying to stay aggressive?
Here's a foray forward, the cross dealt with. Cascarino in a battle with Rabano. Knocked out of play by Lundqvist. It was Bianca St. George marauding down that left corridor with Mina Tanaka, the offensive catalyst, pulling the strings, playing in a more retreated role in this match as opposed to her usual number 9.
No one's there.
That shot or cross was more an expectation, in hope than expectation, rather.
When you mentioned Tanaka coming more into that midfield role in the attacking mid, it does fit more of her skill set being in that area and allows for a bit of a more vertical threat, because she's someone that, when she plays up top, wants to come to the ball. So it'll be interesting to see how that pairs up with Solorzano and how they can play together here when they get the ball.
Solorzano, who last week became the first Guatemalan to play in the NWSL, and this week the first one to start Ball got caught underneath her feet poorly. Here's Cascarino. Looking for daylight. Closed down by 2. Turns the corner. Cascarino clips it. Headed at the back posts. Menacing the Wave. Here's Mahoney.
Oh, that's a big
Brought down
foul.
at the edge of the 18. Free kick.
And really good spell of possession. Moroni taking it inside, going off the dribble. That's your outside back, coming more inverted. Takes a very hard foul, and this has come from a very dangerous position.
You can really see how Kristen McNabb pushes or shifts to the left, allowing Perle Moroni to push up a little further to get involved in the attacks. Kenza Dali over the ball. Maria Sanchez, the goal scorer in the vicinity.
Stop buffering. Should not be a problem.
Kenza Dali. Dali!
Off the top.
Did not miss by much. And she had Manny McGlynn scrambling.
And there's that right smile. She knows that that one was incredibly close. I love this take from Dali, stepping up a lot of speed on this, but the trajectory is almost perfect, sneaking it into that upper left corner. A great take from the central midfielder.
A veteran of 2 World Cups. A 33-year-old bringing creativity and experience to the Wave.
They got a good press on against Bay here.
Losing the ball too easily, but here is Nuria Rabano. Tamina Tanaka.
Oh, she didn't keep her run.
Fuder and Ali Setnor.
Yellow
on
game
different
right
pages.
now.
Tomorrow it's a battle of the last 2 NWSL champions as
Bay
Gotham FC
versus
take on
Louisville. Bay
Rubber
is
Banda
up
and the Orlando Pride
1-0.
at
I missed
5
it
p.m.
when that
Eastern on
happened.
ESPN2.
It's currently in the 17th minute.
That is a mouth-watering matchup. Expect to see this from Jonas Eidval's Wave, playing out the back. Despite the pressure, Mohoni under duress. Back to McNabb. Line-splitting ball to Sanchez. Now Mohoni.
You gotta switch the field here.
And after speaking to Eideval, he did feel that this pressure was going to be coming. He expected it, so definitely looks like the Wave are comfortable in that possession. But if you're the Utah Royals, that's what you want. You want to force that longer ball and be able to start your possession again in the middle third.
The passing has been sloppy, though, from the Royals. Here's Leon. McCaskill out wide to Cascarino. Swings it in towards Leon. Money. McCaskill. Sanchez. Corner kick.
When you get to see the double pivot of the Wave really working here, McCaskill and Dali, the footballing IQ to just possess, keep the ball, and then feed the feet of the likes of Sanchez and Corley. Really effective here early on.
Looking more tanned than he would had he remained at Arsenal, Jonas Eidval. He thought that the Wave were marginally better than Angel City last Sunday. Eidval did make a point of telling us that he's not been to the beach yet. The tan coming from the training field. Cascarino curls one away. This will be a deep
This doesn't
throw
make
in
sense.
for the
It's not even
Utah
using
Royals.
1% of my network.
Let's look at Delphine Cascarino, 9-time French League champion and 6-time Champions League winner with Olympique Lyonnais. The most dominant team in women's club football. We asked her what it was like transferring into a team that plays in a league that thrives on parity. She said that winning was a emotional high in this league.
Yeah, she really talked about how just every game, it's so incredibly difficult and so much goes into it because of just the parity in the league.
Those statistics on the top left side of your screen really do tell the story of a dominant side in this matchup so far.
Well, what I've liked from San Diego is they look very controlled, but they look hungry. They look like they want to go score lots of goals, and it's exciting to watch.
Favoring this right flank. Cascarino getting a lot of touches. So too Savannah McCaskill. McNabb. Mahoney. Lovely pass.
Excuse me, chat.
Space for Cascarino. Now wide to Corley. Back to Cascarino. Good defending. And that is yet another corner. Number 4.
What's incredibly difficult about what San Diego's doing, they have so many opposite movements. There's a push-pull. Someone's going in behind. Someone's checking the ball. Corley playing this in the one touch was perfectly timed. Gives Cascarino the ability to get into the end line. But all that starts from Dali and McCaskill and them really controlling the tempo in the middle of the park.
Forming a formidable tandem. Dali and McCaskill in the double pivot. Lots of bodies coming together in the 6.
Good
Easy
catch
pickings for Mandy McGlynn. A bit lucky there, Yanni Thompson. Threading it through. Solorzano out wide.
No one's there.
Too much air underneath that cross. That's a bit better. Solorzano hands it wide.
Well, it's better organization on the clearance for Utah to pick up that second chance opportunity and be able to get the service back in. They're going to need to do more of that to try to create more numbers forward.
Sean Tahini in charge of this one. Tiffany Turpin, Cameron Seiler, the assistant referees. Patricia McCracken, the 4th official. Cascarino. So comfortable in possession, these Wave players. Oh, that's a lovely
Straight
ball.
up
into
the
Leon.
middle.
Beaten for pace. Tanaka. Keep it alive. Late knock on McCaskill and a late whistle.
And McCaskill's doing a lot of work, and what I'm already noticing is Dali and McCaskill not only good on the ball, we'll see this right here, this foul when McCaskill gets taken down on her ankle right there at the end by St. George. But they're doing a lot of work defensively. There's a lot of balance behind the ball. So when Utah is able to stop their attack, they give it right away back to San Diego, and a lot of that's because of the organization of Savannah McCaskill and Dali.
St. George scored the lone goal against Bay FC. Manny McGlynn with the assist, which was the assist of the week. Only the 4th goalkeeper in the NWSL to claim an assist in all competitions. 3 have done it in regular season play. One of those, by the way, Kaylin Sheridan. Kaylin Sheridan setting up Alex Morgan in Seattle in June of 2022. Solorzano.
Remember that match.
Opens it up for Bianca St. George as a runner.
Ooh,
Tanaka.
great intervention.
Maria Sanchez.
And And it seems like a small detail, but that pass from St. George, there's no reason to lift it in that moment. There is a path to Tanaka. Those are the little things when you're not getting a lot of opportunities that have to be really technically sharp and executed. And Utah is trying to figure out ways to do that, but you have to be able to do it in that moment because right now, you're not getting a lot of numbers forward.
Starting to assert themselves a little bit more. Not under such intense pressure as they were during the first 15 minutes. An 8th-minute goal scored by Maria Sanchez, the difference between these two sides. Here is Sornosa. Solorzano, magnetizing 3 defenders. All gets poked away. Now the Wave can build. Cascarino. Throw in will be San Diego's. Adriana Leon came off the bench last week. Earned herself a start tonight.
And it did change the look of the entire front four as well, with Corley coming a little more central, with Leon higher up, and then Maria Sanchez going out more to the left, which we're accustomed to seeing as well with last week with Corley was out there more often. But you can just see the interchange between those front four is really unpredictable and hard to adapt to when they're seeing so many different movements.
Adevall does have plenty of attacking power available to him. San Diego finished 10th on 25 points last season, 7 points short of the playoff watermark. Casey Stoney sacked after a 7-match winless run. A mere 3 wins in 14 for the head coach who's now in charge of the Canadian national team. She was replaced by Paul Buckle, and he then followed up by Landon Donovan. San Diego did sweep Utah last season. The only team the Wave beat twice in the regular campaign. They won 2-0 in May, with Stoney still in charge. Jaden Shaw and Mackenzie Roby, the scorers. Sanchez. A lot of yellow in the 18. Dali, Leon. There's a strike.
Not hit well.
Corley couldn't make good contact with the ball.
It's a deception of Dali, looking like she's going to go for goal herself. Just uses that deceptive move to be able to play that really short pass into Corley. Just very good decisions in the final third. And I think if you're Jonas Adevall, you're probably happy right now with this being a really dangerous style of play where they're able to create and go forward at will.
Long ball looking for St. George. Here's a look at the possession numbers. Lions share San Diego's. Sometimes statistics do tell the right story.
That's true. That's true. It certainly is right now.
St. George helping out Nuria Rabano. Tejada to Manny McGlynn. Fava. That's a lovely ball to Sornosa. Solorzano, excuse me.
Too much.
That one too long for Mina Tanaka.
And it's just the final detail that's a little bit off, but much better build-up play from the Utah Royals. Manny McGlynn playing quick into Del Fava's feet. Del Fava breaking 2 lines with 1 pass. All of that is going to help them get more involved in the game.
Well, one of the things that Jim Kunratz did tell us is he was looking for a way to Mina Tanaka and Ali Sentnor to connect more often in the game. That's one of the reasons that he retreated Tanaka into the hole, into that attacking midfield space, and this is not a good sign. Manny McGlynn getting some treatment. on that right ankle. And here's what she did last week against Bay FC in Sandy, Utah.
And it was the adaptation of deciding, I'm going to go long on this service. It's a great ball in, a really good run from the outside channel from St. George, and a really nice finish as well. But that's what Mandy McGlynn can do. She can help set the possession, set the build out, likes to play short, but has the ability to have this kind of distribution when needed.
Jimmy Conrad said noticed how high Bay FC's line was, and he told his players, including Mandy McGlynn, to try and take advantage of their positioning. A little bit of
Is it buffering for all you guys?
goalkeepers union.
So I can't. No,
Dialogue.
I think it's bad over here.
As Kaylin Sheridan came to check up on Mandy McGlynn. Kaylin Sheridan, who was fantastic in between the sticks, making some big saves.
And Sheridan is always good for a big-time save, and this one was huge for them. 2 in a row where she had to come up. They were able to finish the game 1-1, but look how she comes across her goal, extends completely, then gets back up for the second save. That is the part that I'm really impressed with her, was just her reaction to be able to do that.
In the SoCal Derby. Angel City tying once again last night in Portland. In difficult conditions, it was pouring down. Here's the pressure. Corley to Cascarino, back to Corley. Getting a stretch of the legs now. Options left, right, and center. Finds Mohoni. Corley wanted it back. Bounce took it to Mohoni. McCaskill. Cascarino.
Oh, she lost the handle.
Heavy touch. Sornosa. So delicate on the ball.
And that's Kennedy Wesley, the center back, stepping into midfield. It's absolutely suffocating the way that San Diego is transitioning to defend on a loss of possession. Utah is having a really hard time connecting those passes because you've got your 2 central midfielders stepping aggressively, you've got your center backs doing it, and it's hard to play out of that.
Lundqvist, Cascarino, McCaskill. Wave trying to turn up the tempo. Well won by St. George. Mina Tanaka gifts it away. Leon, Cascarino. Back to the Canadian international. Has Maria Sanchez in the box. Well blocked. But the Wave insist. Trying to shift Utah side to side. Dali. Sanchez, back to the French international, now Mohoni. San Diego just camping out in Utah's midfield. That was an essential touch from Lundqvist.
Is that a card? Yep.
And the first booking of the night. Sornosa painted yellow.
And I think this is an exact descriptor for what Utah Royals are doing. They're chasing because the ball movement is so incredibly good right now from San Diego.
McCaskill's just grass stained all over.
One person's there, and it's McCaskill in this instance to pick it up, make sure it doesn't turn it into anything bad, and then also draws the foul. And there's just so many players that are covering so much ground right now that the Utah Royals don't have an answer for it.
Savannah McCaskill has been impeccable in the heart of midfield. Claudia Sornosa has been starved of the ball, doing a lot of defending. The 34-year-old 2023 World Cup winner.
Well, Gia Corley is pushing up on the front line, and so she's having to track that, and it's taking her out of her position because they're putting 4 across there, and it's making it difficult in midfield.
A very central position here for Kenza Dali. She plays it short to McCaskill. Here's Dali.
What was that?
Cascarino. The give and go. Cascarino across the 6, booted away. Solorzona out-battled by the veteran. Dali, eyes on the back of her head. Cascarino may have taking a little clip there. Play on, says the referee. Lundqvist. The Royals chasing shadows. Cascarino, Lundqvist.
That's what they were doing all last year, too.
Sornosa, anywhere will do.
And something that San Diego's going to have to think about is they're going to make changes at halftime, the Utah Royals. So they really need to push for a second goal, be really detailed in that final third, because head coach Jimmy Coonrotz is going to figure out some spaces, be able to do it. He can adapt really well and settle his team down if this does get to halftime with only a 1-0 lead.
He's going to have to find out, or find, better yet, some spaces. None to be seen for the Royals so far. Use the word suffocating. Here's Sentnor with space to run. Mahoney gets it away. Footerer insisted. Cross coming in.
Oh,
couldn't grab it. And a foul called. The ball just slipped out of the gloves of Kaylin Sheridan.
Was good positioning by Lundqvist on that back post area. Very good where she was at. Also using just the pressure against her to draw the foul. But getting into the outside area was Thompson. Takes on, gets a good ball across. It looks pretty routine, but Sheridan's just not able to come up with it. She does look like she's going to recover, but St. George eventually called for the foul.
A little rash, that foul.
They haven't been in that final third very often, so just trying to make something happen. But just to my point earlier, that's where San Diego needs to be really careful. Even though they've dominated, it's only a 1-0 lead, so they really need to try to capitalize on this if they can.
Well won back by Mina Tanaka. Thompson, Sentnor, under pressure, draws the foul. Try to play it quickly, Utah. I think they were actually saved by the whistle.
And this is the first time we've really seen Allie Sentnor invert a little bit more, come inside and create that box midfield. She draws this foul on Dali, who's going away from goal. No real need to, but she does it twice, eventually gets called for it.
She's had to hunt for the ball because the ball's not coming her way. Allie Sentnor. Here she is over it right now. Cluster of players at the edge of the 18. Sentnor. That's a good delivery. Headed away by Kennedy Wesley.
That's the shoulders.
Cleaned up by Yanni Thompson. Kate Del Fava.
And I like that from Del Fava. Just put her foot on the ball, settle the game down a little bit because they haven't enjoyed spells of possession like they're used to having the Utah Royals. So if you can keep the ball movement going, speed of play, but slow it down just a tad, it could be helpful for them in possession.
Sornosa. Back to Tejada. Sornosa. The pocket picked. McCaskill to Cascarino. There's
Oh, that was a little bit better.
Leon. She wandered offside. Flag stays down. Dali.
Oh.
Headed away by Del Fava, putting her body on the line. That will be the fifth corner for the Wave, who are attacking in waves.
Because of the defensive effort of the double pivot of San Diego, Gia Corley is able to go so high, and she's right next to Leon, and it's really causing problems for the Royals even to be able to clear the ball out of danger.
That proximity between those two, Leon and Corley, is what Jimmy Coonrotz wanted to see from Tanaka and Sentnor on the other side. Dali floats it. Reclaimed by Sanchez. Out to Dali. Plenty of targets to aim for. The header from Kennedy.
Allie Sentnor is like, where is everybody?
Their home record was far from impressive, San Diego's. Last season, 5 wins, 5 losses, 3 draws, just 18 points. But it was the road woes that anchored the team below the playoff line. Sanchez, McNabb. It has been mostly one-way traffic at Snapdragon Stadium. And this is exactly what Jonas Eidevall wanted to see from his team. More of the ball and attackers facing forward, which they have so often in these first 45 minutes.
There is a slight change to Utah Royals with how they're pressing. Ali Sitnor has come inside into that more central role. Tanaka was originally doing that. Now she's pushed out to the right, at least in their defensive shape and their pressing. With the way Ali Sitnor does press and likes to step and tackle, it makes sense to try to dispossess.
Corley opens it up for Cascarino. Driving forward. Driving at Tejada. Cascarino gets away from her, and it's in the back of the net for the second time. The Wave double their lead. Adriana Leon with the final touch.
Well, it's all this buildup, and look at all the space that Cascarino gets. She drives into this inside area, taking on Tejada, goes to her right, takes one extra touch, gets it across, and it's Leon who does an incredible job just getting in front of this. But look at the run from Cascarino. I thought she might go to goal herself, but she knew exactly what she was doing. She drew players across and then put some pace on the ball. The pace she puts on that allows it for Leon to be really good and just run in there and finish it off.
Leon scores her first for the Wave from poacher's range. It doesn't get much easier than that, but it was industry from Delphine Cascarino. And Snapdragon Stadium in full party mode now. So a mountain to climb here for the Utah Royals. And they might go 3 down as the ball is given away to Corley.
Not called.
They are rattled.
And what's incredibly hard for Utah Royals is that these goals aren't just coming because one player outplays another player in a 1v1 only. It's coming through wonderful build-up, some patience in the back. They're controlling, they're looking to build in the build-up phase. But when it's time to go, they do it, but it's under control. It's with purpose and intentionality.
Intentionality.
Scoreline mirroring that of their meeting last season in this very venue. San Diego also won in Sandy, Utah, where they scored 2 early goals. Cascarino netting the winner in that one. It was also her first goal for the Wave. That win snapping a 12-match winless run. Zali charging forward, looking for the piercing ball, which was read all the way by Yanni Thompson. Cascarino, McCaskill. The Wave thirsty for more. Diligent defending from Bianca St. George.
Oh, no. That
He was fouled unceremoniously.
don't you hurt our national team person. She's getting a card.
Well, this makes sense. I thought we were going to see a yellow card come out because you don't want to see Ali Sitnor turning, facing forward off the dribble. That's what her highlight reels are made of. Is her
give McCaskill a card, please.
First, St. George, McCaskill calling for it. It looked a little light to me. And then right there, McNabb steps in incredibly hard on Sitnor for the foul.
Well-deserved booking. And that's what Ali Sitnor was asking for. A good chat with Ali Sitnor about how much her life has changed over the last few months after her terrific performances in the She Believes Cup. A little nutmeg from Gia Corley and an ole from the crowd. They're enjoying this. Gia Corley, who became only the second Wave player to score on her debut. Jaden Shaw, the first. In fact, Jaden Shaw scored in each of her first 3 games. Rabano to McGlynn. Fuderer, space to turn. Sornosa quickly closed down. Leon now. She'll do it herself. Slows it down, looking for options. Dali out wide to Cascarino. McCaskill, Moroni wide open on weak side. McNabb to Wesley. All these players in blue getting plenty of touches.
And when San Diego's building up, they're really bringing lots of players over to one side, so they're creating a huge overload in the wide areas, and it's not really pulling the center backs out, and the center backs aren't wanting to step, so they're getting ability to turn and come at you in waves.
St. George. There's a lot of tracking back. Wesley. Edging closer to the break. Things going swimmingly for the San Diego Wave.
Swimmingly.
Sentnor, you said it, she's drifting more towards the center now and getting a lot more of the ball. And that's allowed the Royals to move upfield in numbers. Not cleared away. Sentnor don't want her to turn. She took a little push. Referee swallows her whistle.
She didn't see it.
The more involved, the better it is for Utah. But in order for her to
Ref didn't see it. She blocked by another San Diego player.
They haven't been able to establish that in the build-out phase, and so it really limits the amount of time she can get on it. But you can just see she's starting to want to find the ball herself and have an impact for Utah, regardless if they have those possession spells.
Diego taking the foot off the gas just a little bit, conserving energies. That's a poor pass from Sheridan, but her blush is saved. Sanchez. Dali. Wesley. Lundqvist. Corley. Has the ball on the string. Dali, Mohoni, the French connection. Leon. McCaskill. Cascarino wants it. She gets it. Slams it right into Rabano, who's done what she can to close down Delphine Cascarino. It's almost been an attempt in futility. Cascarino has a devil in her boots tonight. Corley. Rabano before Lundqvist, and
it wasn't a foul.
the Spaniard fouled. Well, Kristen McDabb, congratulations. Playing through her 10,000th career minute. The 58th NWSL player to reach the milestone. A lot of soccer in those legs. Three minutes of stoppage are set to be added. There's a clash and a foul called in favor of the Royals. Nina Tanaka, who hasn't had too much oxygen to breathe. Everywhere she looks, there's blue.
And really the outside backs are stepping really high. They're also shifting inside. So Utah just not able to create those overloads centrally like they would want.
Picked up by Leon. Numbers with her. Cascarino to her right.
Oh, she
casual from Delphine.
I do think that kind of summarizes how they're feeling right now. They feel confident. They want to try things, that little bit of creativity. I love that. And it doesn't happen perfectly right there for Cascarino, but I love seeing a player playing with that kind of pizzazz as they go and that comfortability.
Comfortability.
McCaskill wins it back. Hurdles the challenge. Closed down by Futterer. Corley. A German youth international, although born in Tacoma, Washington. On the 2019 Under-17 Euro.
Well, this is what San Diego has willed into existence, is the ability to not have to force it forward. So they wanted to balance that final third entry with the possession they did create last week and continue to grow on that, and it turned into goals. It's done that here in this first half. Now they can settle in and really pick their moments of when do they want to go forward, when does it make sense.
And how do Utah play themselves back into the game? That's the question.
They have to somehow get possession of the ball, and that has to be the first thought, is how do they beat this pressure and this attack or transition to defending pressure, especially when San Diego is doing that. It's really difficult. Or they've got to figure out, do we try to turn the back line, play a little bit more direct, and just make San Diego uncomfortable?
They'll come into the second half with nothing to lose. First defeat of the season in the face. Route 1 for McGlynn. Looked like a handball, spotted by the referee, Tahini. We're in the dying seconds of the first stanza. Snapdragon Stadium. San Diego's home opener, going according to script. Just linking up the dots so well. Corley, Cascarino. Did just enough. Ana Tejada.
Certainly is,
very,
Red.
very busy. She and Rabano on this left side haven't had a minute to rest. Well, they'll get to rest now as this first half is whistled dead. A commanding performance in the first 45 from the Wave and a commanding lead. 2 goals. The first one